Hi, welcome to episode 44 of Last Stitch Effort. My name is Pacasha, and this is typically a little podcast about knitting and using up my stash. I'm going to continue with what I did last episode where I talk about my shawl wall, which is essentially some quilt racks, a proper quilt rack, and then something on, and then a dowel rod on a shelf that my husband made to match. I shouldn't say it's not proper, but you know, slightly different. Anyway, that's how I store all of my shawls, and we're on the bottom half this time, so I position myself a little lower, and so we'll continue talking about those. And then next week, I probably won't wait a long time in between episodes anymore. It's just we've had a lot of like traveling and stuff lately, but anyway, we'll just move right along. So my name is Pacasha. You're joining me in New Mexico, and it is very windy and very dry and very scary right now. So, and it's warm. So we really haven't had much of a winter. So I haven't really gotten to enjoy many shawls. And some of these I've actually finished quite recently, and I've only used them because I've been sick and like wrapped up in them, not like to actually go out and enjoy, you know, some nice cool weather in nice conditions instead of 60-mile-an-hour wind conditions, but nobody goes outside in that if they don't have to. So let's start. This is my half and half triangles wrap. This is the one that I finished most recently, and I only did half triangle or a triangle, but I didn't do the other half to make it a square because this is big enough. I don't know if you can get the scope of things. It's well past my arm span, wingspan, whatever you want to call it. This is using Purl Soho Linen Quill, and the color is Twig Brown, and I used almost exactly 3 skeins. So this is a Purl Soho pattern as well, and the original pattern designers are Canton, and then Whitney Van Ness adapted it into a shawl versus a blanket, whatever. Yeah, so they designed that for Purl Soho, and you've probably heard all about, not necessarily mine, but everybody's been knitting these for years now, and they're quite an addictive little knit. So that's the first shawl on there. I'm just gonna throw them down on the ground as we go through. This next one, see, I don't know if you can see, but there's a little rod right here, and they just kind of go right over the rod. The next one is not a pattern. I just kind of made it up based on other triangle shawls I've made throughout my knitting time. And this is Holst Garn. I got like a sampler of like green Holst Garn Coast, which is their cotton. And it was like a bunch of greens and yellows. And then I had this really interesting skein of handspun. I don't know. It's the garter bumps. Like this is stockinette, and then the handspun is garter bumps peppered through. And that is a Northbound Knitting. I think it was like something about Tides. No, New Wings is what it was called. Tides is the yarn. Anyway, so I just like added that because it was a Southdown wool, and it was kind of rough, and it wasn't really next to skin soft, but I figured if I did it on the garter bumps on this outside, it wouldn't really hit your skin because it does create like a pearl-like valley on the side that typically does touch your skin. So yeah, I think that worked out really well. It's not really colors that I wear a whole lot of. I did make a dress last year, I think, using some old bed sheets from like the 70s, which matched it really well. I actually think I matched this to the dress, but I have since given up on that dress a little bit because it just didn't quite fit right in the bodice section, and I couldn't really fix it, and it was sheets, so it became scrap fabric for the next wearable muslin that I will be making. Ugh. I can't do this with every shawl, right? We'll be in trouble. Oh, sorry. Anyway, moving right along. The next one we have, I could not find out. I did not make a Ravelry page for this one. And it's just a little wide shawl. And I just faded some leftover sock. This is my favorite thing to do, is like mixing up like leftovers. So it started out with some yarn that you'll see in another shawl here, and I just used up little bits, things that I've over dyed, little sock leftovers, and just some commercial yarns, and I just kind of faded them all together. I believe the pattern, or I should say the formula that I used to create the fade and the actual stripes was like Retro Stripe by Lisa Mutch, who is like an amazing shawl designer. Like she's so creative, and she has like such like visually striking designs. This isn't, this fades a lot more. She does a lot more contrasty type things. And anyway, I just thought it would be a fun little, I did a full-size retro stripe and I gave it to a friend, and I really enjoyed doing it because it uses short rows, which are always kind of fun. And this isn't, it's not that pattern exactly. I just kind of used some of the design like formula type things to make this. So yeah, so handspun and leftover sock yarns. And I actually do, I've worn this quite a bit. Obviously the weather's kind of crazy, so not a lot of shawl wearing this winter. All right, let's move on. This is a Shetland lace triangle. I think that's what, Shetland triangle lace. I don't know. It's by, who's it by? Evelyn Clark. Duh. This is a classic one. It's kind of hard to see, but I don't know if I can, nope, that doesn't help. Anyway, it's a really classic lace pattern. And I used about 100 grams of, oh, isn't that pretty? I love that motif. 100 grams of Holst Garn Supersoft in, I don't know the color. It might have been a discontinued color because sometimes that's how I picked up a few balls just to test it. And I do believe this one is the Supersoft and not the Coast. And it is not soft. It did get softer after I washed it, but it is still kind of prickly. It's not something that bothers me quite so much, but I could definitely see it not being for everyone. But oh, I just love that lace right there. It's so cool. I think it's called Stork's Nest. I'm not sure. Candle Flame maybe, or Stork's Nest. The next one is a scarf. It's not a shawl. And this is just, I mean, it's a very, very long scarf. And this was my like car knitting for several months a few years ago. And it's very basic. I think it's like the Elementary wrap by Purl Soho. And I used just some sock yarn that I got at Hobby Lobby. If you don't know, like, I don't choose to shop at Hobby Lobby if possible. However, there have been times in my life where I'm a stress buyer, and I have bought a lot of yarn at Hobby Lobby. And also, we have for many years, we had no yarn stores around here at all. And, you know, situations have kind of fluctuated in that area, but for the most part, it was really hard to get yarn. And sometimes you just need a fix of, you know, whatever. You're in a small town, there's nothing to do, and the nearest Hobby Lobby is still an hour away, but I don't know. It was just a moment of weakness, but I do not shop there anymore. But I did a few years ago, and begrudgingly even then. So yeah, whatever. We do the best with what we can, and that's all I expect from myself, and that's what I expect of others, and that's open for interpretation too. So all right, this next one is my pattern. It's called Long Johns and Lace. It's kind of curled up a lot. It needs to get reblocked. Long Johns and Lace by Pacasha Younger on Ravelry if you want to download it. It is a free download. So the top is just like moss stitch. And then there's a little lacy border, and it's just a shallow, like wedgy, like, yeah, it's just a shallow scarf, shawlette, whatever you want to call it. And this yarn is, once again, a Hobby Lobby yarn. This is all Hobby Lobby stuff is discontinued anyway. They discontinue things after 5 minutes. So this one is called Mahogany Harvest, I believe, and it's got sparkle in it. And it's one of the yarns that I used in this little scrappy one too. And I also have a pair of socks out of this. So I do enjoy the colors of this, kind of earth tones, and yeah, it is pretty. It is very soft, but I feel kind of because it was Hobby Lobby trying to profit off of the creativity of hand dyers. I would like to think that, never mind, I'm not going to get into it, but I made it and I wear it, and that's that. Okay, this one is called Wandering the Moor by Celeste Glassell. I believe I talked about this pattern on the previous edition, I think. Not that one. This one is Wandering the Moor also. And this one I kind of messed up at the bottom. Like, I didn't do the lace right, so I just kind of made up something and finished it off. This was at another distracting time in my life, and I just can't concentrate on lace when I'm, having to do other stuff. But that's okay, because it's still like a wearable whatever shawl, and it's not perfect, but it's just a nice big garter stitch triangle. And this was Knit Picks. It's like upcycle. Alpaca upcycled something. I don't know. Let me see if I can. Did I write it down? Yeah, upcycle alpaca. This is the sport weight, and it's cornflower. And I don't know if they still carry this, but it's quite a lovely yarn. When they first introduced it, it was very inexpensive, and so I bought quite a bit. I've since decided that I think alpaca kind of bothers me a little bit. Not a lot, but just a little bit. So, I don't know. I don't really wear blues a lot, which is kind of funny because it is a color that matches my eyes. But, yeah, whatever. This is a nice little thing, and I wear it when I think about it. But I don't wear a lot of blue, so. This one, I love this one. This one is Girl from the Grocery Store, which is a Joji Locatelli pattern. And, it's a shallow triangle, asymmetrical shawl. Oh, it's so pretty. This is one of my favorites. And I don't even wear these colors that much because it's very pink. But the dye is by Sock Obsession Dye Works, I don't know, something like that. And the color is White Sands, which is a national park, monument, whatever, near me. And it's gorgeous. And it's like, it perfectly matches the sunsets there. It's just gorgeous. And then the more neutral color is Madeline Tosh Euro Sock in the color Milkshake, which was part of a club. Have I been showing you this the wrong way? No, it's the right way. But I kind of feel like the 80s to me, I remember more the late 80s than the early. So mid to late 80s. This reminds me of more late 80s. We did do neon, but there was also this nice kind of pastel-y, almost Miami Vice type thing that was going on in the mid to late. Oh, it's just so pretty. I just love this shawl. Even though I don't wear it that much because of the colors, I love it. And I love this pattern. This pattern is one of my favorites. I have made another one, but it was given away as a present. So when I was doing the research for all of these shawls, it was amazing how many I don't have anymore that I've actually made. This isn't even half of the amount of shawls that I have made, in the last 10 years or so. But I give them away. Sometimes I get overwhelmed by the amount that I have in storage. So I would just package them up. And then anytime somebody was going out of town to visit family, I would just send them with my mom, and she could give them to whoever saw one that you know, that they liked or whatever. And then a huge pile of them that she didn't give away ended up burning up in her home fire. So I guess, oh God, I've got some, probably alpaca in my eyeball. So I guess that's that, but it's kind of an excuse to make some more. Certainly don't mind that. And even though I do have them, and I consider myself a wannabe minimalist, I still just enjoy having them. I enjoy making them. I don't consider it a problem to have a lot of shawls because this is my hobby. This one is Clint by Natasha Hornsby. And I finished this one fairly recently, like in the fall anyway. This one, it was fun to knit. It was a bit fiddly at times. There was a lot of ends to weave in. But I like it. I just don't, you know, once again, I haven't had a lot of occasion to wear it. So this is one that I hand dyed, or that I dyed myself. Orange flower yarns, and then knit picks, and then knit picks again, I think. So it is quite a cool design. She does make some really interesting designs, but I love the patchwork star so much. All right, moving along. This one, every time I see it, it makes me feel happy just because of the colors. But I do not wear it. But I will never get rid of it because the colors just kill me on this. This is called Ode to Vera, and it's a pattern by T-Shep. And I think it's a free pattern even. And I 100% copied another person's project. They did these exact colors and I had to do them. So this is Knit Picks palette. The person I copied is Small Fan, which just scrolling through their knit projects on Ravelry, it's so inspiring, but this color combination just about killed me when I saw it. So this is Opal Heather. This is just their natural color. This is Serpentine. This is Salsa Heather, and this is Sweet Potato. And the second I saw it, I had to copy it. And this, it's just such a cool pattern, and it's kind of similar to Color Affection, which is here. And I wore it, I think, last time I recorded. It's just kind of a simpler version of that and a short and sweet version of that. I do like the Color Affection more, just the size is just delectable. But anyway, I love this one. This one makes me feel really happy. Okay. This one is my oldest, probably one of the oldest projects that I still have. Maybe that's not true, but it's up there. This is from 2009, and I made this for my cousin's wedding. And this is a clapotis, which is a viral pattern from Knitty. And kind of everybody and their mother has made one back in the day, if you're an old school knitter. If you're newer, maybe you don't, although they did like kind of re-release it as a special anniversary type project for Knitty. And it's just, so it's drop stitches on a bias, which doesn't seem like much, but given the right yarn, it creates such an interesting fabric, and it lays so nicely, and it looks just kind of awkward right now, but when you're wearing it and like actually draping it like over his shoulder, like it just falls prettily. Like you need something with like silk or plant fiber, something that isn't gonna bounce back up, but it just kind of, it's kind of hard to tell because it's so dark, but it just has like a really nice feel and a really nice drape to it. And this is an Ella Ray, I think it's Silky Ants. Yeah, Silky Ants, which I could be discontinued because it's been a minute since I knit this and since I bought that yarn. But oh, I love it. This one is probably one of my most worn shawls. My cat's about to get really mad because I won't let him in. He's staring at me through the window. Not creepy at all. Okay. Anyway, clapotis, Kate Gilbert. free on Knitty, and if you are not familiar with Knitty, they have a fantastic platform for free for you patterns, but they have a Patreon account, and yeah, they do really good things for designers, and it's a good like starting point for a lot of designers too. Like they've started a lot of people's careers, and so I think that's interesting, and I try to support them when I can. This is my color affection. I did talk about it last time, but I'm gonna talk about it again because I love it and I do wear it a lot. And the yarn I used is Volmisa lace garn in 3 different colors, and I can't remember what they were. Yeah, so I showed it last time, but I'm showing it again because it does stay on the second peg rod. This one has a glass button that's making noise. This one is called Tess Duberville. Sorry, that made noise. It's by K. Meadors. I think that's how it is, but it's essentially just a huge triangle shawl that's garter stitch, and it's super long. So I wear it, it's hard to show because I have like the button fixed in place instead of like removable. But I wear it like across my shoulders, and I come through, and then it goes back and it ends at my back. So it kind of fully embraces me. And this is a worsted weight. I think it's Wool of the Andes Dove Heather. And it's just like a nice big warm garter stitch shawl, and it's one that I often go to like when I'm just at home and like doing chores and need just like a little extra something, but need to move around my arms because the shape of it and the way it's tied holds it in place. So I did that with one I talked about last week too, and my brown twig half and half. Where's that one that I just finished? Maybe it's the brown twig. Maybe I'm just getting confused. But anyway, yeah, I wear like those just big plain shawls that are held in place at the base of my spine. Those are like super comforting. And I just want to show you this really pretty button that the ring light does not want to show. Yeah, so it's just a ceramic button that I got in Albuquerque several years ago. And then it sat in my sewing box for a few years until I did that. All right. Use your special buttons, people. It feels good. This one is the one, probably the one project I am most proud of, period. This is the Tamback by Carol Sunday. Carol Sunday makes amazing patterns. This one is no exception. The second I saw this pattern, I was like, I have to knit that. So, oh, isn't it pretty? I just feel like so accomplished and like so sophisticated when I wear this. And I also feel a little bit hobbity just because of the color work. So it starts off in the round, and then you pick up, and then you knit in a tube. So all of this is knitted in a tube. Just like tons of gorgeous color work. Aren't they pretty? And then you cut the tube, so you're steeking this entire length of this shawl, and then you do a nice little border, which I've worn this so much it's a bit misshapen. I don't care. Oh God, I love it. I absolutely love it. I'm so proud of it. It took so much time. It wasn't a lot of work. Like, it was all very enjoyable. Every minute of this was fantastic. I was just scared of the steek, which no matter how many times I do it, I'm going to be scared of the steek. But it turned out fabulous. And I mean, if you want to do something that has a lot of bang for its buck, this is a really good project for that. And it was quite relaxing because, you know, for the most part, all of the knitting is just around in a tube. Oh, isn't it pretty? I mean, around, it's, you know, color work still, but I love the colors. And I could not get a kit that she put out for this to match the colors exactly. So this was just made from Jamieson and Smith, Jamieson's of Shetland, and Palette Knit Picks palette that I just had in my stash. And I think it works out really well. I can wear it with a bunch of different outfits and feel pretty confident. But isn't that cool? She has, I think, at least one other design where there's like a central motif similar to this. It's just different, you know, charts. And then, so it's the same construction, just different charts. And it's always gorgeous. Oh, I love this one. This one, if I'm like still, maybe this could be a thumbnail. I don't know how they pick thumbnails, but yeah, that's how I feel about it. I love it so much. Always makes me happy. This is the one, like, I don't know. I take it a lot of places. I like, it's not fussy. I'm not worried about catching it on things because of holes or whatever, like other lace things. Yeah, so this is one that travels really well with me. And it matches so many things because it has so many colors in it. All right. The next one. Well, I don't know which one's next. We'll take both of these. The next one I worked on towards the beginning of the podcast. This one, once again, it doesn't have a pattern. I just followed a very typical triangle shawl. I think it was kind of based on something, but now I can't remember. But that's not good. So this is Knit Picks palette also, and this one, this palette is their twist, which I don't think they make it anymore. But this was the asphalt and natural, and then the red is just lipstick. And it has softened up more than any of my other palette. I don't know what the deal is, but it is fantastic. Once again, this is an easy one to take places because it's sturdy. It matches a lot of my outfits. I wear a lot of black, so this is a good thing to put it on. But, you know, the weather just has not allowed me to wear it much. So, yeah, so just some ribbing and increasing at the spine and the top edge. I think every other row, and then just plain rows. I don't remember how I did it exactly, but very basic. You could pretty much, yeah, I don't know. I would say you could do the same thing, but the yarn isn't available anymore. But I'm sure there's plenty of twisty, marly yarns you can use to make a sock monkey shawl. I'm sure that's everybody's goal, is to look like a sock monkey. This one is Ishbel by Isolde Teague, who, as you know, is one of my favorite designers, and I've made 100 bajillion Ishbels. And I haven't kept many of them, so this is one that I've kept. And now you're going to notice I ran out of yarn and the dye lot changed with the second skein. Can you tell? Yes, you can tell, but that's okay. And I pretty much just kept going. There wasn't much yarn left, I don't think, after I finished this, because this yarn, like, you just do however many repeats of this lace pattern that you want, and then you can just keep going at the end until it's as thick of a border as you want, or you run out of yarn or whatever. Yes, this is Neighborhood Fiber Co. Rustic Fingering, and the color is Gwen Oak. I think that's what it was called. So it's not a color I wear very much, and it is kind of weird that it changes, but it's still lovely, and I'm looking forward to an occasion or occasions to enjoy this more. And I don't know what it is about Ishbel, but it is an addictive lace. Like, it's pretty. It's not my favorite. I would say like Stork's Nest, the one that I said from the Shetland lace triangle one, is probably my favorite motif. Or, you know, there's so many that are just awesome. I don't know why, but it's just this pattern as a whole is just a comfort knit. But still not like mindless like a garter project would be. So speaking of garter projects, this is my other half and half triangles wrap. Purl Soho, Jake Canton, and Whitney Van Ness. This one is the full 2 triangles. So 300 grams of each color. And it is massive. This is a blanket, not a shawl. Like, it is very hard to wear because it is so big. Like, okay, so typically I wear triangle shawls like this. And it's just ridiculously huge. And it is so soft. I use linen quill. Like, I don't know. It's huge. It's crazy. But it is a good, oh no. It had a burr in it. Whee! It's not good. Okay. This is like a good thing to take in the car. So if you need to get out, okay, I'm gonna paint a picture for you. Say you're on a road trip. This is gonna be a typical road trip for me because anytime I want to go to any place worth going, really, it's a good 3 hours, like Albuquerque or Santa Fe or El Paso or Lubbock or something like that. So say maybe you get up really early and you don't really want to put on a bra. Say you're traveling. You can just wrap this around and go inside of Stripes and, use the bathroom. And it's huge and big and awesome. And it covers all the things that you need covered for optimum comfort. So anyway, this is that. Purl Soho, half and half, wrap, triangles wrap. And it's huge. And it's very warm. It's linen quill, so it's like linen and wool. Did I say the colors? Lychee, pink, and fresh pickle. Oh my gosh. This also makes a really good project if you're traveling. Like, I had planned on taking this on our last trip to New Zealand to knit, and I ended up finishing it at home after because it was just too big. And I didn't want to take that much yarn, but I don't know, maybe you have a longer trip than me and you could finish it and then you have a wearable thing, and I don't know. That's that whole rod. As a bonus, I opened up my daughter Nio's drawer by the front door that has her knitwear in it. So it has like hats and mittens and stuff. And I found a few shawls that she had shoved in there. She has, I think, a couple others like in her closet, but these I thought I would just, oh, my cat. Come on. Hey, come on. Come say hi. Everybody likes cats and podcasts. Yeah, all right. So anyway, I found a few shawls that she had hidden away and she hasn't worn in years, and they all need a good blocking, but I thought I would show you anyway. So you know how I say I knit Ishbel a lot? Well, here's an example. This is the smaller version. I don't remember this yarn, but it's black and it has like red like sparkle in it. And I just did a small version just for Nio. Nio was like a little tiny baby goth baby for a while. So she wore a lot of black. I don't think she ever wore this much except for a few times as a scarf. But if I reblock that, maybe she can, I don't know, find some use for it. But I don't know if you can see the red sparkles. It's really cool. I think it's probably pretty cheesy, but it was fun, especially knitting for your kid. I'd like to knit for her. Here's another one. This was another sparkly one. This is a colorway that I dyed, and the pattern is from Hunter Hammerston's Curls book. I don't know if it's which edition of Curls it is, but if you can find one of those books, or if you catch Hunter when she releases her patterns, if she has it available as an ebook, it is a really fun book with a really simple pattern to make a nice, like, asymmetrical piece that just lays really nicely. No matter how you wear it, just the shape of the actual shape of your rate of increases or whatever causes it to like lay and kind of do a nice little swirly thing. So yeah, so this is just some gray that I dyed for her and on a sparkle base. I don't know if you can see. And I don't remember which pattern it was from the book, but I know it was from It's a curl by Hunter Hammerson, whichever curl that may be. And this one is a, oh, I forgot. I think it's a Vera Valimaki. It's not Color Affection. I don't remember. It's this one. Whichever one this one is that's known. So this is just Knit Picks palette. And once again, it's actually quite soft. And I know it hasn't been worn much. But I just kind of copied that Hudson Bay colorway, you know. Just did some bright colors. And I was going to give this away, and then I said, no, I want that. And then ever since probably that day, it has just sat in her drawer. So it does look kind of clowny, but it's also got that classic Hudson Bay stripe thing going. What is the name of it? Maybe this is Color Affection. I've made several of this pattern. I just haven't kept many of them. It's a nice pattern too. I'm not particularly fond of stripes so much anymore. I like knitting them. I just don't necessarily wear them. So for a while I was knitting one of these constantly, just putting things together, and it was super fun. Like I did some pinks and browns and, you know, things like that. Some handspun and commercial mixed together. I just don't do it so much anymore, but it's a nice shape. I like asymmetrical triangles. I think they're kind of interesting to wear. And pretty much all of my triangle shawls I wear like a bib, for lack of a better term, or a handkerchief. Yes, or not handkerchief. Yeah, I don't know what I'm... Anyway, so that's what I have for you. Hopefully next time we talk, I'll have some more finished objects to show, and I have a baby to knit for now, so I don't know how I'm going to fit all that in before the due date, but the baby lives in a warm place, so maybe we can wait a little bit anyway. I do have some teacher gifts that I'm working on, you know, because it's close to the end of the year, so I need to get going on those. And I haven't finished my riggies, but I will do that soon. I did finish my test knit for Gudrun Johnson. I did the Adrienne Unst vest. Sorry, if I'm saying words wrong or not focusing, it's because of allergies, and this wind is insane. But anyway, I finished that test knit. I will get pictures of that. I did take pictures while we were on vacation, just they didn't turn out exactly how I wanted to. So, and I've been working on socks for Nayo's little university sock box that I'm making for her. Yeah, so we'll catch up hopefully next time. And it'll probably be next week. I'm ready to do another episode. We just got sidetracked with spring break and things like that. So anyway, I hope you're doing well. Let me know anything you want to tell me down below. I'm here for you. So anyway, love you guys. Hope you have a fantastic day, and I'll talk to you soon.